Criminal Law, LLB course, University of London. May Exam 2024. Topic: homicide, murder with partial defense, loss of self-control. Let's learn how to interrogate the facts and apply the legal principles. Past paper question. Mark is in love with Louise, who is married to Nick. Mark tells Nick that Louise has been having an affair with Russell, which is untrue. Nick confronts Louise and challenges her to deny the accusation. She refuses angrily, telling Nick that she would have an affair with Russell if she had the chance, as Nick is a loser in a dead-end job, is no good in bed, and is physically repulsive. In a fury, Nick picks up a poker and aims a blow at Louise. In attempting to avoid the blow, Louise slips over and hits her head on the fireplace, rendering her unconscious. Nick storms out of the room shouting, "That serves you right." When he returns hours later, Louise is dead, having suffered heart failure. General remarks by the examiner. This was a straightforward case on murder and the partial defense of loss of self-control. As always, you are expected to deal first with murder, and only having satisfied yourself that there is a case to answer to talk about the defense. There are two issues on murder, namely mens rea and causation. There are three main issues on loss of control, namely whether there was a loss of self-control, whether there was a qualifying trigger, and whether the reaction was consonant with that of an ordinary person with normal levels of self-control. Let's dissect the question and address each issue separately. Identification of the question. If there is a death, question is related to homicide. Harm. Homicide, proposed crime, and murder. Unlawfully kill of a human being with intention to kill or cause GBH. Grievous bodily harm. Alternative crime. Constructive manslaughter, burden of proof. On prosecution, standard of proof. Beyond reasonable doubt, elements of criminal liability equals actus reus plus mens reus plus unbroken chain of causation plus absence of defense equals murder. First requirement. Actus rea. External part of defendant. Unlawful killing. Nick picks up a poker and aims a blow at Louise, an object quite capable of causing serious injury, at least if aimed at the head. Defense counsel could raise argument. Poker did not hit her. Prosecutor, her reaction was natural. R.V. Roberts' second requirement, mens rea. With intention to kill or cause GBH. Really serious injury. R versus Jonjua. Defendant could raise the argument. He did not intend to kill her. In a fury, Nick picks up a poker. Picking up a poker. Selection of weapon indicates its intention to cause GBH, at least, which is enough to make him liable for murder. R versus Vickers' selection of weapon is guideline for jury to determine his intention. Defense would raise the argument. There is no coincide between actus reus and mens rea, as defendant must have both of them at the time of offense, murder. Prosecutor would argue that the mark intended to cause serious injury, at least, gains further support by his immediate reaction to her unconsciousness. That serves you right. By uttering these words, the requirement of coincide is being established. Nick storms out of the room shouting, "That serves you right." 3RD requirement. Causation e factual. Legal factual cause death of Lewis would have not, but for the action of Nick. But for test R versus White. Yes, established. Legal cause. Legal cause is the link between initial act initiated by the defendant and resulted crime. Legal cause must be the operative and substantial cause of the resulted crime, murder. Whether the defendant's act was an operative and substantial cause of the consequence in question. More than trivial. Yes, but it can be rebutted. Because there is an intervention act between the original act and death. Did it break the chain of causation? Victim own act or reaction. In attempting to avoid the blow, Louise slips over and hits her head on the fireplace, rendering her unconscious. Prosecutor would raise the argument given in cases of Roberts and Smith that victim action was the foreseeable reaction. Whether the heart attack was a complete coincidence or was influenced by the attack and its aftermath, defendant would raise the argument. Victim was have died of heart attack, not by her injuries. As per post-mortem report, this argument is rebuttable under the legal principle established in the case Hayward, 1908. It was sufficient that the accused threatened and chased his victim, who consequently died of a heart attack. So more likely chain of causation is not broken, hence Mark is liable for murder. Defenses. Partial defense is available. Defense of loss of self-control. On the issue of loss of control, identified elements section .54, indicating that loss of temper is not the same as loss of control, e.g. Dawes. An accusation of infidelity, section .55, 6, e.g. Clinton, Dawes and Hatter is not a qualifying trigger, section .55, 6, although the defense can still be relied upon if other circumstances of an extremely grave character are present, e.g. Clinton, Dawes and Hatter. You should then have considered the overall context of abuse, including the hurtful statements made to Nick to decide this, and whether it would have caused a justified sense of being seriously wronged and the objective reasonableness of the reaction under section .54, 1c. If the defense is successfully establishes, his liability of murder would reduce from murder to voluntary manslaughter. Note: this question has been attempted on the guidelines provided by the examiner's reports. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for more videos and comment for PDF copy.